There's a lot of talk these days about what books kids read in school. But let's talk about what books they aren't reading, and the lessons they aren't learning, like the wisdom of Henny Penny. I learned Henny's story back in grade 1 in the 1960s, although it was already an old classic in the 1860s. Various European versions existed for centuries before Henny was translated into English, but even the old European tales were derived from Buddhist sources, and dating back over 2,000 years. And Henny has gone by different names, like Chicken Licken, before that name was claimed by a restaurant chain. In my school, Henny was known as Chicken Little. But sadly, by the time Greta Thunberg was in grade 1, Disney had morphed Chicken Little into a hero who battles space aliens. Regardless of the name, the basic story is the same. An acorn falls from a tree and hits Henny, who wrongly thinks she was hit by a piece of the sky that was falling. She starts on a journey to tell the king that the sky is falling, and along the way convinces other animals that the sky is falling, and the whole lot of them meet a fox, who exploits their fear, leads them into a trap.
Turkey lurkey, goosey loosey, ducky lucky, cocky locky, and Henny Penny have never been seen again.
It's a great story encapsulating many lessons. Well, don't be a chicken. And don't be a whiner or a drama queen. Think before you speak or jump to wrong conclusions. Don't blindly follow the crowd. Keep up your guard for tricksters like the fox. And most of all, don't panic. The lessons of Henny Penny have been sadly lost, as the prevailing message these days is,
I want you to panic. And I want you to panic. I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day.
And her version of the sky is falling is,
people are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
Of course, this isn't true. A NASA report said the extra CO2 is greening the planet. Our crop yields are at records. The number of hurricanes has dropped over the last century. Same for wildfires. Greta's panic is spreading in different forms. There are the gluten tags, the people gluing themselves to things as their way to let the king know that the sky is falling. Gluing themselves to the street. The Berlin police have logged 200,000 hours dealing with these protests. Gluing themselves to an airport runway. Amputations may be necessary. Gluing themselves to art, possibly destroying priceless treasures. This guy glued himself to the floor of a car dealership and then complained they didn't provide him a bedpan. And my personal favorite, this guy glued his face to the ground. I hear he's trying to cut off some of his hair to make his face more comfortable.
Do you regret the gluing? Are you
yeah, it's not one of my better moves. Yes.
And then there are these people getting in front of moving cars. This guy gets dragged away by two big guys, then comes back to nearly get run over, while his teammate gets dragged off by her hair. But sadly, the panic has gone all the way to the top.
The era of global warming has ended. The era of global boiling has arrived.
The sky is falling!
What? The air is unbreathable. The heat is unbearable.
The sky is falling!
Children swept away by monsoon rains. Families running from the flames. Workers collapsing in scorching heat.
The sky is falling!
The United Nations spreads fear to justify big salaries, big budgets, and prestige. The media profit. Here's a CNN bigwig.
Do you think it's going to be just like a lot of fear? Climate?
Yeah, fear sells.
Politicians profit. Vote for me, only I can save the world from this crisis. Academics profit from fear. You can't get a research grant to say things are normal and polar bears are doing just fine. And then there are the super grifters. Jeff Bezos invests in fake meat to reduce emissions from beef. Then for fun, he blasts off into space with 3 friends burning off 1,000 tons of greenhouse gases in just 11 minutes. Al Gore commands big speaking fees.
By 600,000 Hiroshima-class atomic bombs exploding every single day on the Earth. That's what's boiling the oceans.
It doesn't matter his predictions have gone wrong for 20 years. Owns an oceanfront mansion. No fear of sea level rise. And Bill Gates gets huge government grants for his green businesses.
I'd probably have one of the
highest greenhouse gas footprints of anyone on the planet. You know, my
kind of ironic.
personal flying alone is gigantic.
So what do I care if modern day Henny Pennies get fooled by Foxy Loxies? Collateral damage. In the name of saving the planet, politicians have started to ban fertilizers, kick farmers off their land, and cull livestock herds. World hunger? Oh, what bird brain thought of that policy? Click the box in the top left for the playlist of book reviews. I read these books so you don't have to. Cheers.